If you're a man over 50, there's something your doctor probably hasn't sat down and explained to you clearly. And I'm not talking about cholesterol or blood pressure, though those matter too. I'm talking about something most men feel uncomfortable bringing up, so it just doesn't get discussed. But here's what I've learned from talking to cardiologists, urologists, and men just like you. What's happening in your body right now is completely normal, completely manageable, and there are things doctors are quietly recommending that actually work. You know that feeling when you realize something you've been struggling with for years has a simple explanation? That's what today is about. Because the truth is, a lot of what men experience after 50 isn't about getting older in the way you think. It's about something specific happening in your body that almost nobody talks about openly. And once you understand it, everything changes. Maybe you've noticed things aren't quite the same as they used to be. Maybe you felt frustrated, or worried, or just accepted it as part of aging. Well, I want you to know, doctors aren't accepting it. They're recommending specific things. Real things. Things based on how your body actually works, not on expensive treatments or quick fixes. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what doctors are seeing, why it matters more than you probably realize, and most importantly, what you can actually do about it. And I promise you, this isn't going to feel like a lecture. This is just one person talking to you about something that affects millions of men, but almost nobody understands. So stick with me, because by the end of this, you're going to understand your body better than you probably ever have. Let me start with something most men don't realize. When you hit 50, 60, or beyond, your body goes through changes that have nothing to do with willpower or age itself. It's actually about blood flow. Specifically, it's about how well blood moves through your arteries and reaches every part of your body, including the parts that matter for sexual health. Here's what happens. Over the years, your arteries can become less flexible. They can accumulate plaque. Your blood vessels get narrower. And when that happens, blood doesn't flow as freely as it used to. Now, you might think that only affects your heart or your legs when you're walking upstairs. But the truth is, blood flow affects everything. Your brain, your energy, your mood, and yes, your sexual function too. This is actually something cardiologists have known for decades, but it's rarely explained this way. Sexual health in men is basically a cardiovascular issue. It's not a secret. It's just not something that gets talked about in casual conversation. Your doctor might hint at it, but most men don't connect the dots. Think about it this way. If blood isn't flowing properly to your heart, you feel tired. If it's not flowing properly to your brain, you might feel foggy. And if it's not flowing properly to the tissues that need it for sexual function, well, you get the picture. It's all connected. It's all about circulation. Now here's where most people make a mistake. They think the solution is complicated or expensive. Pills, procedures, all of that. But doctors, the ones who really understand what's happening, they're recommending something much simpler first. They're looking at the basics. What's your blood pressure? How's your diet? Are you moving your body? Are you sleeping? These aren't flashy answers, but they're the ones that actually work because they address the root cause. The surprising part is how quickly things can improve once you understand this. Men tell me all the time that they wish someone had explained this to them years ago. Because once you know that sexual health is really about cardiovascular health, everything makes sense. And suddenly, there are clear things you can do about it. Let me tell you what doctors are actually seeing when they look at this issue. A man comes in at 65, and he mentions that things aren't working the way they used to. The doctor doesn't just hand him a prescription. A good doctor asks questions. What's your blood pressure? Do you have diabetes? How much are you walking? What does a typical day of eating look like? Because here's what they know. Sexual function is one of the first things that changes when your cardiovascular system starts struggling. In fact, cardiologists use it as a warning sign. If a man comes in with cardiovascular concerns, one of the first things they ask about is sexual health, because it tells them something important about blood flow everywhere else in the body. It's like a canary in the coal mine. When that system isn't working well, it's often a signal that other systems need attention too. Now, here's what most men don't understand about their bodies. Your arteries are like highways. When you're younger, traffic flows smoothly. But over time, if you're eating certain foods, not moving enough, carrying extra weight, or dealing with high blood pressure or blood sugar issues, those highways start getting congested. The traffic slows down. And the smaller highways, the ones in sensitive areas, they feel the impact first. This is where diet becomes really important. And I'm not talking about some extreme diet. I'm talking about the everyday choices that either help your circulation or work against it. Foods high in saturated fats, too much salt, processed foods, they all contribute to that highway congestion. But here's the thing most people don't realize. Just a few changes can open those highways back up faster than you'd expect. Many men think they have to overhaul everything at once. That's actually one of the biggest mistakes. You don't. Small, consistent changes in what you eat, how much you move, how well you sleep, these things compound. And your body responds. Your arteries become more flexible again. Blood flow improves. And everything else improves with it. What doctors are recommending, and this is what surprises most men, is that you start paying attention to the same things that prevent heart disease, that help manage diabetes, that keep your energy up. It's all the same system. It's all connected. So when you improve one thing, you're improving. So let's talk about what doctors are actually recommending. And I want to be clear, these aren't secrets. These are things cardiologists, urologists, and preventive health doctors suggest to their patients every single day. The problem is, nobody packages them together and explains why they matter for this specific issue. First, there's movement. And I don't mean you need to start training for a marathon. I mean walking. Regular walking. 30 minutes most days of the week. You know why? Because walking strengthens your heart, improves blood flow, helps regulate blood sugar, and reduces inflammation throughout your entire body. A man in his 60s or 70s who walks regularly has better circulation than a sedentary man in his 40s. It's that powerful. And the best part? You can do it in your neighborhood. You can do it with your spouse. You can listen to music or a podcast while you do it. Then there's what you eat. Doctors recommend foods that are good for your arteries. Fatty fish like salmon. It's full of omega-3s that help keep your blood vessels flexible. Leafy greens, berries, nuts, whole grains, olive oil. These aren't trendy foods. They're foods that have been proven to improve circulation. A man I know started adding these foods regularly and cut back on processed foods. Within a few months, he noticed a real difference. Not just in one area, in his energy, his sleep, his overall mood. Here's something that often gets overlooked: your blood pressure and blood sugar. If either of these is high, it's damaging your blood vessels. It's like putting your arteries under constant stress. Doctors take this seriously because they know it affects everything. If you haven't had these checked recently, that's step one. And if they're not where they should be, managing them becomes priority number one. Because nothing else works as well when your foundation isn't solid. Sleep is another one. Most men don't connect sleep to sexual health, but doctors do. When you're not sleeping well, your body produces more stress hormones. Your blood vessels constrict. Your inflammation goes up. Your blood sugar control gets worse. Poor sleep literally works against everything else you're trying to do. A man who starts sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night consistently will notice changes across the board. And then there's stress. I know, easier said than done. But chronic stress keeps your nervous system in fight or flight mode. Your blood vessels stay constricted. Your body can't relax or function optimally. Doctors recommend finding ways to manage this. For some men, it's walking. For others, it's meditation, time in nature, hobbies, or spending time with family. Find what works for you and do it regularly. Here's what ties all of this together. These aren't separate recommendations. They're all part of one system. When you improve your circulation, manage your stress, eat better, sleep better, and move your body, you're not just addressing one issue. You're addressing the root cause. And that's exactly what doctors are recommending because they know it works. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Sexual health in men over 50 isn't some mysterious thing that just happens with age. It's connected to everything else happening in your body. It's about blood flow, circulation, cardiovascular health, and the daily choices you make. And the good news, the really good news, is that you have more control over this than you probably think. Doctors aren't recommending expensive treatments first. They're recommending the basics. They're recommending that you walk, that you eat foods that are good for your arteries, that you check your blood pressure and blood sugar, that you sleep better, that you manage your stress. These things work because they address what's actually happening in your body. Now, I'm not going to tell you this is easy. Change takes time. But here's what men tell me when they actually commit to these changes. It's worth it. Not just for one reason, but for everything. Your energy improves. You sleep better. You feel stronger. Your mood lifts. Your mind feels clearer. And yes, Sexual function improves too. Because you're not just fixing one thing, you're improving your entire system. Start small if you need to. Maybe this week you add a 30-minute walk. Next week, you swap out one meal for something with more vegetables. The week after that, you focus on getting to bed 15 minutes earlier. Small steps compound. Your body responds faster than you'd expect. And here's something important. If you've been struggling with this for a while, don't feel alone. Millions of men experience this. It's not a personal failure. It's your body telling you it needs better support. And now you know what that support looks like. Talk to your doctor about your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and your overall cardiovascular health. These conversations matter. Your doctor wants to help you. And when you combine what your doctor recommends with these lifestyle changes, that's when real improvement happens. You deserve to feel good in your body. You deserve to have energy, to feel strong, to feel like yourself. And the path to that is clearer than you probably realized. It starts with understanding that everything is connected. It continues with small, consistent choices. And it ends with you feeling better than you have in years. Take care of your circulation, and your circulation will take care of everything else.